Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3. And today I'm going to be giving you part 11 of What If Naruto was created from the God Tree. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new series over on Anime King. Yes guys. Part 1 of What If Naruto was neglected and reborn as the son of darkness. And also remember to stick around for a brand new episode coming over Anime King 2. And yes guys, if you're new, you heard that correctly. I did have 3 channels. Anime King 2, Anime King 3. Which I post out if every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all for helping and support. Remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new episode start? The intro. So the last part that we left off, as Naruto had revived Hitomi, as she couldn't believe it, as she was now fine. But what surprised him was Naruto's eyes. His eyes were a lot different. Instead of his normal purple eyes, he was showing a blue, strange, glowy eye, as these eyes were the Tensegon. As Naruto told them to come with him, which they did outside, he pointed towards one of the Hyugas who was the one that was poisoning Hitomi. As Naruto's eyes made contact with the man's, the man's Byakugan was forcefully activated as he was forced to tell the truth. As Naruto's sway over his eyes seemed to be even stronger than what he even possessed over his own body. As Hayashi was furious, he had the man arrested immediately, as they would all be executed, as he had listed out the people that helped him with the process. Hayashi told Naruto that he will be forever in his death. As he thanked Naruto, he and the Hyuga will forever be in Naruto's death. As Hitomi hugged Hinata, as Hinata took in the vibes of the room and realized that Naruto was the one to save her mother, and that made her all more grateful for him. As Kushina was proud of her son, not only did he save Hitomi, one of her best friends, he also allowed Hinata and Hanabi to be raised with their mother by their side. Afterwards, Naruto made his way. As he went to find Uncle, the both of them meet up as Naruto told her he wanted to see the mark. Even though they were friends, she was still a bit skittish of showing anyone the mark, but she trusted him after all that he had done. So she pulled down her coat as she exposed the mark to him. As Naruto saw it, Uncle's eyes went wide, as so did Naruto's, as the both of them went into a trance-like state. The next thing Uncle knew, she saw Orochimaru, but then she heard the voice of Naruto telling her to kill him. As she started to feel her pores, her entire being be flooded with power. As her eyes switched to the Tensegon, the Renny Sharingan opened her forehead as she nuked Orochimaru like he was a pest. The curse mark was burned off her neck. As a seal, Uncle shattered everything, breaking the fabric of time inside the seal with the power that Naruto had given to her. Afterwards, she woke up as she cried in his arms. She also kissed him. As she couldn't help it, she was overwhelmed with emotions. But he just looked at her. He didn't mind though, but at the same time he didn't seem to reciprocate. But she just felt a bit embarrassed. Other than that, everything went fine. 3 years passed after that, as there was an incident Mito and Sasuke were now 6 years old. There was an incident as Mito had went to Naruto's room one night, and Naruto had lashed out at her by accident, his power almost hurting her. He has been acting rather skittish ever since, as she was blaming herself for that. But her mother told her not to, as Kushina had sat down and spoken with Naruto, who told her that everything was fine. He was just having a lot of missions lately. Naruto had made Jonin rather easily. Itachi had taken a separate route, as he had went to join Anvu, while Naruto took on Jonin status, as he wanted to be a Jonin sensei for Mito, and that was, well, she was happy for that since the beginning, but ever since he has been pulling away a bit, which got her worried. She wanted him to be her Jonin sensei. So other than that, she spoke to Mikoto, as Itachi was also going through something as well, regarding his clan. Shisui had committed suicide, and Naruto. Itachi didn't question how Naruto find out things and more, but Naruto heard that people believed that it was Itachi that did it. And not to mention, the Uchihas were planning to revolt against the village. Itachi did not claim or deny anything, but he knew that Naruto knew, and Naruto was a big deterrent in this because of his power. And the Uchihas and the other council members knew that, as Naruto was a good friend of Itachi, and everyone knew that he and Itachi were like brothers in a way. So they were kind of worried on the council with the way things were acting right now, but not many knew that the Uchihas would go that far as to attack the village. Naruto had some problems as he almost killed Mito. The sensation for sucking chakra was becoming great, as he could feel his mind slowly drifting and being corrupted by that damn woman. He could not sleep. He could not think. She was forced in his mind every time he closed his eyes. He had been trying to block her out, but she was there, as a seal had been weakening ever since Naruto broke it, allowing Kaguya to spread her influence more throughout the seal, and it was really hitting Naruto badly. But he tried as best as he could, and he could not forgive himself if he hurt Mito or Kushina, so he had to leave. But before that, he would purge Konoha off the filth that was corrupting it. So yeah guys, that's basically as we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So what do you say we begin this new episode? There were several important members of the council, civilian council to be exact, that were all too with the removal of the Uchiha clan. They wanted the Uchiha members to be pushed back so that they could get more land for themselves. They were just doing this for what? The money. But Danzo was using their greed to make them vote for his decision to push back the Uchihas. That is why the complaints were getting so much. They were the ones sending complaints after complaints, directing them towards the Hokage about the Uchiha mistreatment of them, while the police force has been getting a bit anxious because of the way the village has been treating them. There has been many false complaints as well, and these council members would do anything for money. Yes, they were corrupt, right down to the letter. But that was their mistake of being corrupted, because tonight it all ends. The man was peacefully sleeping in his bed as he lived in the upper part of Konoha, the rich people area, if you would say. After all, he was a part of the council. He had several businesses around the Fire Nation and some within Konoha as well. But as the man felt an odd feeling as he started to sleep, he slowly crept open his eyes. Once he did, he came face to face with that blank gaze looking down at him. He wanted to scream, but he found himself unable to, as he felt a simmering pain like he's never felt before, as Naruto's hand was right over his heart, its 2 fingers injecting in the man's chest. The lethal chakra spasmed through the man's body as he died right there and then on the bed. As Naruto was gone, he moved through the councilman houses, the ones that were all just for the corruption of the village. He slaughtered them. The ones that did it for the greed and the money, he slaughtered them. Tonight will be the night that you'll be leaving. Before he leave though, he will cleanse Konoha. Someone have to after all. But the biggest cleanse that he'll be committing was 2 areas. that were a lot more populated than just a council men. Meanwhile, Danzo Shamira was having a good time so far because things were going his way. So far, he had been able to stop that accursed Uchiha from using his Sharingan to place Fukaku under control to stop the coup. Because if that were to happen, the Uchihas would still be alive. But he has been speaking with Itachi. Itachi loved his little brother and would do anything to keep him safe. And he also didn't want war. He was willing to sacrifice himself, staining his consciousness and his hands by slaughtering the Uchihas. The third was all against this, but Danzo would convince Itachi by using his brother as a deterrent. At the moment, he possessed one of Shisui's eyes. After he had ripped it out, Shisui had managed to escape. He didn't know where the other one was, but the rumors were that he committed suicide. He had chosen wisely not to implant the eye yet, just in case any news were to spurt up. But his roots had searched far and wide and Shisui was nowhere to be found. It was only a matter of time before the Uchihas were slaughtered. And those eyes, he would take them for himself. After all, he would use them to benefit Konoha when they belonged to him, when this village belonged to him. As that brought a crooked smirk to his face. It was a matter of time before he get what he wanted, before he got Hiruzen out of that seat. After all, everyone knew that he didn't belong there. He didn't deserve to be Hokage. He was too soft. It was then that one of his roots flashed in front of him. "Sir, someone is at the entrance." Danzo raised the eyebrow at that. It was late in the night when all the fiends and darkness came about, and his roots were moving to carry out their missions. Who would be here at this time, and not to mention to find this operation? Another ninja then landed. "Sir, it's Naruto Uzumaki. He knows we're here. He said that he's here to speak to you." Now that caught Danzo's attention. Hiruzen was tolerating his roots so far, because Hiruzen, even as old and stooped as he was, he knew that they were necessary to keep Konoha stable. After all, regular ninjas do not do the dirty work. Decrepit work that were not meant for the kind-hearted and weak. Not to mention he recently handed over the Mokidan user to Hiruzen, saying that his services will be better for the regular Anvo forces. But Danzo's interests were piqued, and given who the child was, he would rather like to know what did he want. "Bring him to me," said Danzo, as the root ninjas nodded and vanished. A few minutes later, Naruto was brought forward, two root ninjas flanking his side as he moved calmly through the base. As he stopped a few feet away from the man as Danzo was sitting on some kind of throne. As his one all-eye gazed upon Naruto, this child, as always, intrigued him. He was an enigma, something that Danzo could not explain because he possessed unusual powers. And with him now being a Jonin, Danzo could see the powers that were at his disposal. And yes, they were definitely unusual. Things like Danzo was never seen before. But because of who he was, he couldn't get his hands on him. The child would not be that easily corrupted. Well, he hadn't tried. He was too much in the spotlight. He was friends with too much influential people. "Tell me, child," said Danzo, "how do you know about this place? And why have you come?" As Naruto glanced around the area. "These ninjas of yours," he said. "I can barely feel emotion inside of them." "Have you broken them?" Naruto asked. The only way for a true shinobi to be ideal in all situations is to get rid of those pesky emotions that you speak of. That is the only way to make an ideal, efficient shinobi, something that is clearly lacking nowadays. "Now tell me, how have you found this place and why are you here?" "I know that you're here for some time now," said Naruto, "and the reason I'm here is to kill you." Danzo was surprised how nonchalant he said that, and calm. "Do you know what you're saying, child? Or have you lost your mind?" "Do you know who I am?" Danzo asked. As Naruto glanced up as he saw the root ninjas in their fullest, all of them looking down towards him with their dangerous masks, trying to intimidate him. "Yes, You wish to see the downfall of the Uchihas, but if you do that, they will retaliate and cause chaos. Unless you send someone that is willing to sacrifice everything to stop war to kill them all. And that would be Itachi. Danzo was surprised at that, as he wondered how did this brat know. And for that, I must kill you before I leave, said Naruto. Danzo got off his throne, but he was curious, leave. The way he phrased it, it didn't seem like he was leaving here. Yes, Konoha. Because of certain situations, I cannot stay any longer. Danzo made a single hand sign as a root ninja flashed through hand sign. Mind transfer jutsu, he said, as he went into the familiar stance of the Yamanakas. But Naruto turned around and raised his hand. A blue glow encircled his spirit, shocking Danzo and everyone there, because usually you could not see the transfer process as the Yamanakas activate their jutsu, but there was a blue glow surrounding the man as he was suspended in mid-air. As Fu, Yamanaka was confused. As Naruto clenched his fist, the man screamed as his soul was shattered like glass. It was then that the body slumped down, unmoving. The Anvus beside Naruto raised their blades and they brought it down to put at his throat, but they were blown away by an unseen force. As Danzo raised his hand as hundreds of root ninjas started to file down from the area, the place was large. As Naruto glanced up, revealing his eyes to Danzo, Danzo saw those unique, crafted eyes, but he was unaware of what they were. They were blue and glowing the untamed power that he just could not understand. As Naruto held out his hands to both sides, living without emotion is probably a horrible way to live. But perhaps sometime it is necessary, he said. Before any one of them could make their way down or even touch him, the unseen force once again released, but this time it was quadrupling strength. Bodies were crushed against the wall like paste. Heads snapped back. Chest plates were broken in. Bodies were thrown and hit pavement. As ninjas were skyrocketed, Danzo stomped his cane in the ground as he gripped onto it for dear life so he would not be blown away. Despite having chalk on the bottom of his feet, the connecting bridge that was from the hall to his throne started to break as Naruto finally stopped. Bodies collapsed all over the place. Danzo was cursing himself for not implanting Shisui's eye. He could have used it now. But he didn't waste time as he flashed through hand sign. Wind style. Cutting blast, he said as he released a spear of wind towards Naruto to cut him in half. As the attack decimated the ground, slicing the bridge, causing it to collapse in on itself. Danzo realized that the kid did not fall. So where did he? Danzo felt a hand grip the back of his neck as he was thrown. He broke right through his throne as he hit the ground rather hard. You don't have to worry, said Naruto. It will be painless from now on. As he raised his hand as a black ball, it was small as it formed on top of his finger. Danzo was about to move until Naruto fired it. He tried to get out of the way, but the thing actually turned in mid-air and slipped right through his skull. As the body of Danzo dropped and hit the ground with a thud, and the life of Danzo Shimura was ended right there with so little effort. As Naruto glanced around the area at all the dead bodies, as he simply walked away, the root ninjas unable to do anything about that. Almost all of them was in a critical state if they were not dead. And the ones that were not here were on missions. They didn't have time to come back and help their master. While that was going on, there was a meeting taking place. In said meeting, Itachi was one of them. Itachi was to be a spy in the Konoha forces by Fukaku. Izumi was there as well. But Izumi did not like this. But she was a Uchiha, she had to do what her brethren did. She could not inform the Hokage about this and be a blood traitor. To betray your clan would be worse than anything that you ever did. At that very moment, Kushina jumped out of bed. As she was having a rather bad dream about Naruto, she dreamt that he was running, and she was chasing after him, but the closer she got, the further he got away. She went to go and check up on him until she saw Mito's door open. As she saw Mito stepping out, "Mito? Mom? What are you doing up this late?" asked Kushina. "I had a bad dream about Big Brother." Kushina raised eyebrows at that. "Can you tell me what it was about?" "Well, he was running away in the dream, and I was trying to catch him but I could not. I just want to make sure that he's okay. I know that last time, well, but he said it won't happen again." "Can we go check on him, Mom? I'm worried." Kushina nodded as she was feeling a bit strange that both of them had the same dream. So with that, she made their way. When they opened the door, they saw that Naruto was not there. As Mito flipped on the light, confused. "Where is he? He didn't have a mission today, did he?" Kushina shook her head. That is when she saw there was a note on the bed. As Mito was the one to pick it up, as she looked at it confused. "What does it say?" said Kushina, feeling worried as hell. "Goodbye." As she started to panic, she didn't waste any time as they made their way. They needed all the help they can get in this to find Naruto. Was he actually leaving the village? As Harrison was alerted about this rather instantly, the man quickly summoned his envoys that were on night patrols. He didn't know how long it was as he had to find Naruto. But as they were standing there, an explosion went off. As Mito turned her head to realize that came from the Uchiha compound. Harrison didn't know what it was, but he had a bad feeling that something horrible was happening. As the group quickly made their way, not wasting time. A few minutes earlier, the meeting was happening, as Itachi had not brought them any new information. Many of the members, well, some of the more abrasive ones, who thought that he was responsible for Shizu's death, was still going on with their antics, and know that he didn't bring them anything well. They were taking it as a sign that he was betraying them, but they did not voice their opinions. Itachi didn't want to be here, but his father had insisted that he come, to show the clan that he was still with them, that he was still loyal. But Itachi was not making it any better. Izumi glanced towards her friend. She was still good friends with Itachi, but she could see he was going through a lot lately. She had been able to speak to Naruto on several occasions, as she had asked him about Itachi, as Naruto told her that he would speak with him. Other than that, she was worried about the relationship between Naruto and Itachi. They were best friends. And how were things gonna go if they were actually retaliate against Konoha? Which side would Naruto choose? As Izumi knew that Naruto was a big part of this. Would he fight for the village or would he fight against it? Itachi himself said that he could not beat Naruto in any way or form. And Itachi was one of the stronger Uchihas out of most people in the clan. So that was rather troubling. It was then a body flew right through the door and hit against the wall. There was a black rod in the chest of the body. As the person was dead, it was a guard that was standing outside, just in case, even though no one would enter the Uchiha compound at this time. But someone did. Standing at the door, Itachi and all the other Uchihas got to their feet, as the presence slammed down on them like a tidal wave. Some of the weaker ones fell down to their knees, as they couldn't handle this amount of pressure. Fukaku turned towards him. "Naruto," he said. The man was shocked and surprised. Izumi herself couldn't believe it. This was bad, with Naruto being here. And he killed one of their members. What was he? Naruto raised his hand towards Fukaku, as Itachi saw what Naruto was about to do. A part of him wanted to jump in and stop Naruto from doing what he was about to do. But even he knew the only way to stop this what was going on was to either eradicate the Uchihas or to banish them all from Konoha, and they would never leave their home. Their mindset has been made up. No treaties or anything that Harrison might come for planning would help. One of the black balls shot from Naruto's palm as it went right towards Fukaku. Seeing the thing coming towards him as Fukaku could feel the unnatural energy inside the thing. It was strange. It felt like it was filled with all 5 natures. One of the other Uchihas flashed to hand sign as he spewed fire from his mouth. But the ball negated the fire and ripped right through him, shocking Fukaku. His eyes switched into the Mangekyo rather quickly, as most people did not know that he possessed those eyes. Otherwise, they would have asked him to use it to take Mito and control the 9 tails. But Fukaku, otherwise known as Fukaku of the Wicked Eye, was a man of mystery, so he kept it to himself. But now he saw his death, and he couldn't just die right here. That is why he summoned up his Susanoo. A black construct formed in a second. It gave him enough time to move out of the way because the ball made contact and shredded right through Susanoo. It was even able to neglect that. Luckily, it gave him time to move out of the way as the ribcage of Susanoo broke down at the side as the ball hit the wall. He had to leap back as it came back towards him as Naruto caught it. Several Uchihas launched fireball jutsus towards him, saying that he was here to kill them, while their leader, as that caused an explosion. The smoke started to blow away. As people stepped out of it, Itachi was one of them. "What is he doing?" Izumi said, as Itachi did not answer her, as they saw Naruto up in mid-air, his eyes glowing bright blue. As he held his hand to the heavens, Naruto said Itachi, but Naruto paid him no mind. As that hand materialized chakra that created giant arrows out of nothing but chakra. They seemed to be solid as they whipped down from the heavens, carrying at a speed that was abnormal. It was not a speed that most could keep up with. As Uchiha started to be pierced, Izumi closed her eyes, as even with her Sharingan they were so fast. But to her surprise, none of them touched her. And she was not the only one. Itachi was spared, and a few others. But most of them got slaughtered with the arrows, as it spread and started to slaughter Uchihas after Uchihas. Fukaku raised his Susanoo, creating a skeleton structure as it created a blade that had whipsy black smoke on it. Fukaku of the Wicked Eye raised the arm of Susanoo and thrust it forward, but a condensed blue beam appeared and split through the blade and literally tore him in half. The man died within seconds. His power was just not up to par with what Naruto can do, as Naruto had never really used the full capability of what he possessed. He was not human, that was for certain. And Fukaku, who has never really practiced with his Susanoo, had no match at best in Naruto one bit. Izumi opened her eyes and looked around at all the dead. There was only just a few of them left. As Naruto said nothing, Anvus flashed into the area, followed by Hiruzen. "What is going on here?" he said, as he glanced to see Naruto standing there. "Naruto, what have you done?" As Naruto's face was completely blank. Nothing. His eyes were just looking at them like they were see-through. Itachi said nothing either, as he just looked at Naruto. But it was then they arrived. As Mito was picked away by Kushina so she would not see the bodies. But Mito fought her mother's hand so that she could look up and see her brother. "Big brother? What's going on?" "Naruto, what are you doing?" said Kushina, as she tried to remain calm. But from all the bodies, and not to mention one of them being Fukaku, she was frightened. "I'm leaving Konoha." Why?" Mito blurted out, confused. Tears already filled her eyes. "Why are you leaving, big brother?" she said, confused. But Naruto turned his gaze away from her, as his eyes were met with Kushina's. "Please, don't do this. Come down and let us talk. Tell me why you have done this. You know I will always listen to you. Tell me what is going on. I can solve this problem. I can help you through whatever you're going through. Please, just talk to me, she said. Her tone was pleading as Mito was crying. As she was trying out for her big brother to come down. The envoys had circled the rooftops. Seeing that Naruto was flying, they had a good advantage, but Hiruzen did not give them the signal as he wanted to see if the woman could calm him down to bring him down. Because this was bad. Naruto had slaughtered Fugaku, and not to mention several dozen Uchihas. No. That one word that he said. And that was it. He just said no. The ear rippled as he blasted away, releasing a wave of chakra as he moved, because of the speed that he was flying at. Tears break, as Kushina couldn't understand. The tears flooded down her cheek. She held her daughter tight so she would not see the gruesome scene behind her. Mom, what's going on? Why is he leaving? Is it because he almost hurt me? I'm fine. It's not your fault, honey, said Kushina as she gripped her daughter tightly. Then why is Big Brother leaving? Do something, she said. As Kushina stood there, as she could no longer feel Naruto-chan's nature, as he was gone. Hiruzen didn't know what to do. It's not like any of his envoys could forcefully bring Naruto back. Izumi had tears in her eyes as she looked towards the broken woman and her daughter, as Kushina was barely keeping it together. But she had to be strong for Mito. She knew that Naruto was pulling away, but to do this, the tears were just so much. She tried to fight them as much as she could, but she was only human. Meanwhile, it didn't take long for him to leave Land of Fire. With the speed that he was traveling at, it didn't take long at all. As Naruto stood on a rocky outcrop, it was like a hill. As he glanced up towards the heavens, his heart and mind feeling conflicted in what he just did. It was then that he felt something fell on his arm. It was raining. But it was not. He reached up and wiped his eyes. He was crying, as he realized that he's never cried before. Even when Anko had fallen, he didn't cry, he just got angry. But now he was crying. As Naruto collapsed down to his knees, his heart feeling a pain that he could not describe. It was not a physical pain, but a mental one, as he felt sick. He felt like he was about to throw up. He gripped his chest in pain, as he was on his knees. The bright, beautiful moon shining down towards him. As Naruto glanced up, as he saw that woman once again, it was her fault. It was her fault. She did this. She forced him to do this. She was in his mind, corrupting him, saying that he belonged to her. Well, he did not. He was Naruto. He couldn't even know if he could call himself Uzumaki anymore after what he just did to the people that he was supposed to love. Enough. I had enough. Enough, he screamed, as a thunderous amount of power exploded from him. Lightning, earthquakes, fire exploded from the earth, lightning crackling the sky, thunder boom as a natural disaster seemed to be happening all at once. So much, he was able to completely erase the trees all around him as he wiped everything away with just raw, untamed power. His scream echoed all out through the land. The place was bright as a lightning screamed down from the heavens and struck the ground in a rather violent way, decimating the ground, rooting up trees, destroying them. Luckily, there was no homes or village around here. The place was obliterated, ripped apart. It was a natural disaster, more than one, something like that has never been seen before. But locked away in her seal, Kaguya Osusuke's smile. A bright, beautiful smile. He was growing nicely. He had cut ties with that stupid village, and those stupid women who tried to claim him as their own. But he was not. He was hers. He belonged to her. Slowly but surely he's breaking his seal, letting her influence spread over the earth the more he released that power. He was truly magnificent. She has never seen this happen in all of her years of living before. For him to surely use willpower alone to bring forth himself into existence. For him to born anew after the Jubi had been sealed away by her sons. Naruto was truly a magnificent person. And he belonged to her, no one else. He will be hers. And there was no one on this planet or beyond that will be able to stop her. Once she was freed, he will stand at her side. The both of them will be the ending of the others that will try to come for her. It was only a matter of time before they find out where she hid off to. And once she was free, they would come and try to kill her. But Naruto will be at her side, and they will erase them all. She had no doubt about that. Yes, he was hers. As she smiled happily, no one else's. Meanwhile, the sad face of Haguro Mosuke could be seen as he had watched what the boy did. It has become more and more clear the more he grew, because of the power that he contained. He had the Senju, the Uchiha, everything inside of him, because of the Shinju, and not to mention all his roots that had been sapping chakra for years now, 1,000 years to be exact. While the God Tree was powerful, Naruto had been sapping chakra from all over the world for 1,000 years. While it was small, it was still from all over the world. He had sucked the very nature itself. His roots, while they lie dormant, they took chakra to sustain itself. And all of that chakra mixed with the God Tree created something mixed between the Jubi and the DNA of that Uzumaki woman. And not to mention the life force of the entire planet. And it brought forward Naruto Uzumaki, who just had to give that all up. Its mother influence was strong over him, just like how it was strong over the Jubi that wanted to protect her, because she ate the fruit. And the closer he got to her, the more he was willing to serve her, to do anything that she pleased. As Haguro must be able to do something, he had to find a way to stop that from happening, because the power that Naruto possessed, he could free her. He just needs to learn how to tap into that power of his. He's already breaking the seal, allowing Kaguya to spread her influence over the planet, more than Haguro would like, but there was no one able to beat her and seal her back at this moment, so the only person could probably count on was Naruto. But at the way things are going right now, Haguro sighed to himself. Time skip, a panting uncle rushed as fast as she possibly could as she arrived to the house. She wasted no time as she banged on the door. Uncle bang and bang and bang until the door finally opened up. It was then that she saw the woman. Her face had tear marks running down them. She looked depressed. "Please, tell me to lie," Uncle begged. Her tone sounded pleading. But just from seeing the state that Kushina was in, seeing Uncle, Kushina broke down once again. Something that she has been trying not to because of her daughter. She wanted to be strong for her, but as Uncle hugged the woman, Kushina had been there for her so much time. As Uncle herself couldn't believe what she had heard. It turns out that Naruto killed several Uchihas, including the clan head, and from what people are saying, including several councilmen, as they died on the same night. Danzo's Shinmiro was also missing as well. The old colleagues of Hiruzen, Homura and Koharu, were dead. As the place was in disarray, news spread rather quickly around Konoha, and it wouldn't be long before it is spread around the Elemental Nation. As Uncle held on to the woman, who was in tears, crying in her arms. Mito, on the other hand, was in her room. Kushina had been locked out by Mito. She said that she wants some time alone. She was 6 years old. Kushina didn't want her to be alone in these times, to have any thoughts in her head to believe that she was the reason why Naruto left. But she wouldn't stay with her mother, she just wanted to be alone. As Mito had broke down in her room and cried, She didn't understand why would her brother just leave like this. The memories that she had of her brother growing up, he was the sweetest and kindest person, always taking care of her, always protecting her. She hadn't gone out yet, so she hadn't heard. What exactly did he do? She was not a fool, she had smelled the blood. And not to mention she saw the explosion, she knew that he hurt someone. And not to mention they were in the Uchiha clan. But she didn't know who exactly did he hurt. Meanwhile, at the Uchiha compound, Mikoto was holding on to a 6-year-old Sasuke, who was asleep. He had cried himself to sleep, as his father was dead. He was confused, he was angry, worse so when he found out it was one of his heroes. As much as he said that he would defeat Naruto, he saw Naruto as something to look forward to when he grew up. Someone that he could be strong and powerful, and protect everyone that is close to him. As he had killed his father, and several other Uchihas, Sasuke was just confused, his mind plagued with thoughts, and to make it worse, he hadn't seen his brother. But his mother told him that his brother was fine. Mikoto, on the other hand, was just confused. She knew the rough draft of what Fukaku was planning. She had tried to reason with him, to tell him that there must be another way. But he went out of his way to show her that it was the only way. But she had Kushina, and she had several friends in the village, and a coup would be rather damaging for that. And not to mention where Naruto stand, given his power and what he can do. She was glad that Fukaku would hold things off, doing some more plannings. While that sounded bad, she was just glad that he had hold things off for a while. But now, Fukaku was dead, and not to mention several of the Uchihas who wanted the coup to happen. Could Naruto have possibly known about what they were going to do, and took it upon himself to be a villain for the safety of the village? But she knew Naruto. He didn't really care about the village, or most of the civilians. All the people that he loved he cared about. But he did care about Itachi, her. He did care about his mother. He did care about his sister, uncle. So why would he go that far? Risk everything. She was just confused herself. At the Hokage's office, the room was sealed off. Danzo is dead. The voice of Hiruzen came out. Him and most of his root population have been killed. Some of them survive, but most of them are killed. The ones that are on missions at the moment are returning. I will have to take over the operation there. They are clueless, not a master, but they still want to protect Konoha by all means necessary. Itachi nodded, as the Hokage still hadn't yet got to the topic of what he actually wanted to talk about. Did you tell Naruto anything? Hiruzen asks. No. But you know him, he always has information that he's not supposed to have. But I did not deny or agree to anything. But I believe that he knew about what was happening within my clan. But he never said anything. This is too much of a coincidence. We are not done yet sorting out the ones that have died, but your father and several of the others are the ones that you gave us information on that is pushing for this coup. This is not a coincidence, Itachi. Yes, I don't believe so myself, Itachi said. There's something else. As Hiruzen pulled out a jar, as he placed on the table, Itachi frowned when he saw the eye floating inside it. We found it in Danzo's hideout. This is Shisui eye, correct? As Itachi nodded. Damn it. If Shisui had been able to did what he said he was gonna do, none of this would have to happen. Damn you, Danzo. If you had just let things play out as they were, you would be alive right now, but no. You always have to go another way. Always have to find something else to go beyond my back and do something else. Hiruzen said in anger as he clenched his fists. He took a breath. You and I both know that if Naruto does not want to come back to this village, none of us can persuade him by force. Naruto was a flight risk. Not because he was gonna leave the village or anything, but Naruto had the power to literally harm Konoha by himself without being stopped. And no shinobi should possess power like that. He was like a deterrent. The rest of the world might not know that he was so powerful, but Harrison, Itachi, and a few selective others know what Naruto can actually do. They have seen it firsthand. I have no choice but to place him as a missing ninja in the bingo books. We can't have this news going on about what your clan was planning to do. I'm sure that if that is a sacrifice that Naruto take, we would just be spitting on the sacrifice to let that information come out, because it would just bring bad light for your clan. But I have to also put him in the bingo book. But I don't understand why he wouldn't come to me. Why would he do this by himself? He has always think rationally. Perhaps he believed this was the only rational way, Itachi said. Harrison sighed as he was really getting too old for this. As he glanced towards Itachi, as a thought came in his mind, but not now. As he sighed once more, "It's alright, Itachi, you can go. Go and be with your family." "Is there anything else, Hokage-sama, that I can know?" "Just go be with your family right now. I'm sure that your clan need you. And I need you to keep an eye out for me, okay? Just in case of anything." Itachi nodded. As Harrison leaned back, there was a lot that he had to go through right now. A lot. As he was summoning Jiraiya back to the village, he needed to see if Jiraiya can track Naruto down. He would like to talk to Naruto personally about what he has done. As he sighed once again, he decided to put that aside, though, as he decided to put some effort into going talking to Kushina and Mito. He knew that his talk might not help, but he just wanted to make them know that he was there for them. They have already lost so much, and now to lose Naruto. He sighed as he made his way. Things were just getting worse. Time skip. "Yagura-sama." The beautiful voice of Mei Tarumi came out. Yagura was a good friend of hers. Well, with the way they acted around each other, maybe something would develop there, but, well, not now it seems. Ever since Yagura was cured of his little problem, that being controlled, well, he has become more open like he used to be. As Mei had noticed that he was keeping his distance and getting wary of her like she was the enemy or something. And for that he had apologized. But if he was being controlled, he had nothing to apologize for. "Ah, Mei," he said. "How can I help you?" As he had that calm smile on his face as usual, but Mei had a troubling look. "I have some bad news," she said. "What might that be?" "It's the child that helped you. The one that you told me about." As Yagura had trusted me. He had known her for a long time now, and he might have had a crush on the woman, as she was there, and she had asked him why was he so happy towards the child, and thanking him when he had flashed away with Naruto. Yagura took the file away from her, as he was shocked. "This information, this is correct?" he said in shock. "Yes, I'm afraid." Yagura didn't understand. Naruto has become a splendid jonin of Konoha, and he has visited Kirin more than once, on a few diplomatic missions, when he passed through their borders. Not to mention a few joint missions given the peace treaty signed between Konoha and Kirin, so their ninjas could even participate on missions together. But now he read that Naruto had slaughtered countless members of the village, and not to mention several Uchihas as well. The last time he met Naruto, his best friend was Itachi Uchiha, so this made no sense, as Yagura was in shock. At the hidden stone, only he was rather surprised. He's been hearing about this new up-and-coming jonin, Naruto Uzumaki. Concerned that the Uzumakis were a powerful clan, which were exterminated with its village help, he was wary of the boy like usual, like all shinobis that were popping up in Konoha. But this boy was special, everyone said. But there was no report on what he can do. The rumors were he never actually fought serious. He actually held back his strength a lot. But now he has become a criminal in his own village by slaughtering people. At Kumo, the Raikage was enticed by this news. Now this was something that he could work with. He loved to poach ninjas from other villages. But there was also a big threat as well. If the boy was willing to kill his own people, what would he do against them? Yujito was in the office. Sir, you summoned me. Yujito, you remember that boy that you fought all those years ago? Naruto Uzumaki. Yes, sir, what about him? She said. It seems like you were wrong about him. As he slipped her a file. Yujito took it. Her eyes went wide, as she couldn't believe what she was reading. As sources were saying that Naruto had slaughtered members of the council, and not to mention Uchiha, several of them in fact, and fled the village. Sir, is this accurate? Yes, and you told me that he seemed like a loyal shinobi. And not to mention after you let your intent be known that you were going to kill him, he spared your life. Well, it seems like the years can change any man or woman, said A. I want to get to know your feedback on this. You won't have anyone here in Kumo spend more time with him, even though you are not really. Could be considered friends. Sir, what are you trying to say? Well, there must be a reason why he left Konoha. Having someone that powerful here, from what you say back then, when he was able to equally fight you, when you were tapping into Nibi's power, I can just imagine how much stronger he has grown. But why would he come here, sir? Why would he leave Konoha? Said A, as she realized that her Raikage was correct. But he could be a threat. Yes, that is why I want you, if we find him, to scout him out, to see what he's all about now. Yes, sir, she said. She was curious herself. Nibi was sleeping, so she had to inform her later. But she was curious. What would make someone like him turn away like this? But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see this person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notifications they posted. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.